All right, thanks everyone for being here. So in this session today, we're going to talk about digital ID and autonomous agents and whether they together may well represent the future of travel. I think a lot of people in the audience have been hearing a lot about both. To me, the average person is overwhelmed by AI. Now to have to learn about digital identity at the same time is really a lot. So I want to start with a quick audience poll. If you can grab those cards, show a smiley face if you think this all makes sense to you, how digital ID and AI agents are going to work together, or frowny face if not. Actually got some blue. I think you're probably a little overconfident, but that's great if people are, are following that closely. And as I mentioned in my presentation yesterday, I'm trying to help explain these concepts to the industry and to our subscribers. So in our innovation and trends and technology trends report for 2025, we made that free and we published it, and we're doing a series of webinars on all this. I think we have, so if you want to scan the QR code, that's a recommended read just to catch up if you do need to catch up if you're one of the people putting up a frowny face. So if you can leave that up for a second so people can scan it. So digital ID, autonomous agents, but before we get into all that, let's just start with what's happening in the next year or so. So Annette, just tell us with eIDAS, as we get closer to going live in 2026, what's kind of the state of play, and what should we all expect to see in the next year and a half?
Thanks for having me, Mike. It's great to be here and to discuss the topic of digital identity, which is crucial for the world of travel. So the EU Digital Identity Wallet is seriously picking up steam, and it has to, because as you say, by December 2026, every member state is by law required to issue such a wallet to their citizens and residents in the EU. So if you're European, you should have one by December 2026. Now, the Commission has co-sponsored a lot of big consortia, 4 up to now, that are running large-scale pilots with use cases like healthcare, academic credentials, payments, etc. And they're wrapping up now, and 2 more are coming. And I'm involved in one that is doing the travel use case, but also with payment and with business wallets, very important for travel as well. And to illustrate, I would like to quickly mention 2 big pilots that we've done that are directly relevant for the audience, and that illustrates how the wallet will work and what the wallet will offer. So one we did was with Romanian students at a Greek university, with me, having a Romanian bank card, booking a ferry in Greece, and in one flow, during that booking process, they will share the student credential that they're eligible for a discount. They will make the payment, and it is a secure payment, and then receive the ticket in their wallet. So that is a lot in one go that you can do with one wallet. The other one is directly relevant here in Spain, where since last year there's a new regulation and a lot more data has to be shared. I'm sure you've all noticed when you check into your hotel, you have to share a lot of data. I checked into a rather small hotel and they were about to copy my passport. I'm like, whoa, seriously, old-fashioned copy machine. I didn't know that still happened. We have the GDPR in Europe, so we have to comply with that. And the wallet will help with this. And the pilot we ran is with Visit Benidorm, whereby you were able to use your wallet to check in and share all the data, but not overshare. Only share the data that you need to share with the hotel to comply, and the hotel needs to have to share with the local police. And that was also with using the wallet online, but also in a proximity use case. So the wallet will have a major impact on the world of travel. If not for the personal wallet, then for the business wallet, because you will be able to instantaneously verify that you're dealing with another real business. So for your KYB and your KYC.
Yeah, so those are good real-world examples showing progress. Go into Nick. So you're the co-chair of the Decentralized Identity Foundation's Special Interest Group on Hospitality and Travel. Recently launched a working group that's meeting more frequently now. So you're working on standards, schemas, processes, and documentation to help push self-sovereign identity forward. So just give us an update on where those efforts are at, what it is exactly you're trying to enable, and how it fits into the ecosystem, considering EIDAS.
Well, start with the viewpoint that travel is as a collection of industries, is an incredibly needy ecosystem for the benefits that a trusted digital identity in the hands of the traveler provides, or a trusted digital identity in the hands of the travel provider enables. It is, however, something that when you talk about digital identity and the work that's actually happening right now, and you talk to travel providers and you talk to the players in our industry, very few actually understand what it is and what's coming, even though they might even at some point be legally obliged to understand it.
We just talked about how I don't think it's really come up on stage yet. I mean, nobody's talked about it in much depth, so that's our opportunity.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So the purpose of the initial special interest group that we did was to bring the travel industries together with the identity industries, because it's a two-way exchange of information, because everybody understands travel from the point of view of a traveler, because everybody is a traveler, but very few people at large, and certainly very few people in the identity industries, understand travel from the point of view of the travel provider, right? And there's so much benefit to unlock. What we are trying to do is to articulate that benefit through use cases. First thing that we did 6 use cases, fully fleshed out, that really unlock the promise of decentralized identity for travel. We did that. We hold regular bi-weekly calls and presentations where we try and find interesting identity companies who have an interest in travel to meet with the assembled travelers, and we typically get 20 to 40 participants from different companies there for an hour. That's a very good information exchange, very well received. And then in the working group right now, we are attempting to close one of the gaps, the big identified gaps, that has not been addressed today by the identity community or any of the pilots currently underway, which is essential information for the traveler. It is traveler profile and preferences. And anybody who's in the hospitality industry will know that this isn't just a name and address and information derived from a passport. It's, what are my allergies? What do I like? Do I want a room away from the elevator? Do I want an aisle seat? It's deep and personal and meaningful, and it's constantly changing. But it is the grease in the machine of travel that actually enables the surprise and delight moments to happen. And that information is locked away in loyalty systems that are behind the bars of individual travel providers today, and they just simply are out of date, incomplete, and unused and unusable in the most part. Our technology that we've been working with here with a decentralized identity fully unlocks that opportunity. And it's one of a number of similar opportunity areas that remain to be exploited. And we can talk about the others.
And that is an open working group. What's the best way for people to get involved?
Well, the best way is contact me.
Let's get in touch with you.
So Decentralized Identity Foundation, or DIF, you'll find it under identity.org. Identity.foundation. And you'll find my contact details. Get in touch. We'd love to chat with you.
Yeah. Going to Jamie, I'd say you're a leading thinker on digital identity. Love your LinkedIn posts. Everybody should follow Jamie if you want to understand this stuff. So you don't work directly in travel, but you see travel as such a ripe opportunity for what you call empowerment tech.
Yeah.
So just wanted to let you explain that, tell the audience what that means in the context of travel.
So, well, firstly, thank you for having me. There's health tech and reg tech and travel tech, and I think what we're missing is a story about technology on the side of the customer. So much about the story, the point you just made, Nick, about all the preferences and profiles and purchase history, it's all locked up in these CRM systems and travel provider technologies. And actually, the travel journey is a naturally fragmented thing. I'll have an app to get to the airport, an app for the airport, an app for the loyalty scheme, an app to get here on the other side, an app for the airline, maybe to get free Wi-Fi, an app for the hotel, maybe there's a key card in there, right? And so one answer is, well, let's create a seamless travel journey and stitch it all together, and we'll have one journey. And that's great as long as you're staying at that hotel with that provider and that set of APIs and that. But what about the restaurant? What about the tour guide? What about all the other things? The only place to organize this information is the individual, right? The only 360-degree view of the customer is the customer. And there's no tech on that side. So empowerment tech is trying to say, well, there can be technology on the customer side now. And that looks like three things. It looks like a digital wallet in which I can put identity, in which I can put my preferences and allergies, in which I can put head of family, 3 children, these ages, all that stuff. Secondary, I've got a data store, all the unstructured stuff, right? Today I have to Google myself to find my warranties and insurance policy and the QR code for my booking, and it's all just, I'm Googling myself in Gmail trying to find all this stuff. It's all unstructured data. So now we can put it in a box. It's a data store, it's under my control. And then thirdly, we can have AI, LLMs to make sense of it all, patterns and stuff. But we can also have AI agents for the customer, right? So Perplexity's just been promoting the travel booking. It's a very happy path, by the way. What happens if it goes wrong, or it's not really it's not really me booking, and all those other complicated things. But that's the holy trinity, right? You got data store, digital wallet, and an AI that works for me. That's empowerment tech. And why I'm really passionate about this is, in part, I've been working on digital wallets for now 8-9 years. And when COVID happened, the industry, all these airlines were grounded, burning $10 million a day just with the fleet down. And we had these 3-hour queues in the airport. So how do we get out of paper? How do we make things verifiable? And so the airline industry, IATA and many others said, could we verify a COVID certificate and the visa and the passport and put it in one place? We got 2 options. We can put it in the sky and say Facebook controls it all, or Expedia controls it all, or Amadeus controls it all. Or we give it to the customer, and then they can show up everywhere. And now travel disruption makes sense, because guess what? I can do my late check-in, or I can let them know my flight's delayed, and the hotel can release the room and clean it later or whatever. So that's empowerment tech. It's about this new technology that's not existed on the side of the customer. And now I can have an identity that proves it's me. I can have profiles that prove my preferences, intents, my shopping history, my budgets, all that stuff. I can share it with OpenAI, I can share it with Perplexity, and I can share it with Anthropic, rather than them having the best view of me and trying to own the customer.
Yeah, great. So we have exactly 10 minutes left. So what I want to do is take some time to try to walk through the full traveler journey succinctly as possible. The flow of shopping, booking, payment, taking transportation, accommodation, the in-destination experience, the service element, digital identity, and now agents will play a role throughout the entire process and touch all areas. So I think Jamie, who said maybe you'd start with shopping and booking first. I have my digital wallet on my phone.
Yep.
I want to start planning a vacation. Let's say that's on my laptop, which I think is fairly typical depending on the complexity of the trip. I presume I'm going to use Gemini or Operator, Perplexity, right, as my main agent. That could be the Booking.com agent. It could be any number of agents, really. But so where am I starting, and then what happens from there?
So if we take this idea of the data store, the wallet, and the AI, we can now express preferences, needs, constraints. I never want to stay in a Marriott again. Don't recommend a Marriott to me, right? Perplexity, the head of product of Perplexity used to be the co-founder of Instagram. And he was asked about, there's all these new models coming out. How do we compete? What's your moat? And he said, we're going to understand the customer better than everyone else. Meaning, they have to have more data about you. So they're going to have to own the customer. So discovery, shopping, the transaction, we're going to have an entry point that to get to hyper-personalization, it's going to have to be an AI that makes sense for me. It's going to get recommendations based on my children's allergies, the fact that I've got a 6-year-old who doesn't like to walk, the fact that I've got a 3-year-old with colic, or a 1-year-old with colic, right? Or I want more of a walking holiday than an exercise. Either I give that to the AI, or it's going to be based on my preferences. And I think those recommendations can be highly personal. And now we can see that due to Microsoft's APIs with payments, Visa's announced 3 weeks ago of the agentic payments, Stripe can now do virtual cards for agents. They're going to be able to check out in that agentic workflow. I can have agents go and book it for me. There's some unhappy path questions and big questions about identity and fraud and stuff, but that's what it's going to feel like. It's going to be hyper-personalized, and it's going to be for me.
Because my agent is going to talk to the agents that represent the other websites.
Exactly.
Maybe there's not an agent needed on that other side, but you're using Model Context Protocol to interface into the different systems, right? And then you're getting personalized results from each of the intermediaries or suppliers, wherever the agent decides to go.
It's going to go to inventory platforms. Maybe it goes to the 3 hotels that I deal with regularly. I want the same room again, by the way.
Yeah.
Right? So
it's on your
my
preferences.
agent's going to be able to act on my behalf, acting in my interests, based on my personal information, in a way that can be regulatory audited, secures, private, and so on.
So my trip is booked. I didn't have to do anything. My agent did it all, right? I just said, yes, I want this, this, this. These options look good. Maybe I imagine it's going to come back and show me pictures, videos, right? Whatever I need to make a decision. But maybe that's the dream scenario. So now I'm all booked, so I am on my way. So Annette, walk us through the transportation.
So you all know the expression seamless travel, right? We've been talking about seamless travel. I've been talking about seamless travel since like 2013, but we don't have seamless travel yet. We may have like a biometric boarding here and a self-service biometric check-in there, and we have e-gates at the border, but you do not have the walking pace that the aviation industry loves to talk about. But we have, with the wallet, we have the opportunity to be in control and use our wallet also in proximity, very practically at the airport. We may have to, of course, check in with our, for a flight, check in with your wallet, show your boarding card, of course, like we do now. But if in the case of also checking the passport, we could share that as well in a way that it is local and my biometrics is matched. So you have 2 in 1 flow, 2 in 1 go. And you can do that from the moment you check in to the point of security. Before that also, or if you haven't checked in, then just backdrop. So you can really match your identity with all these touch points and really make it seamless. And you're really in control. And you will really make all these steps yourself. And now with a high level of assurance. And airports, just talk about airports now, but of course this is for a lot of travel, is about security and about flow. And there needs to be a perfect balance. It needs to be a great passenger experience, but it needs to be a very secure airport. So to combine these, this is where your digital identity comes into play. And if you have a really one like the EU Digital Identity Wallet that's issued to you by your government, so you have a high level of assurance that you are who you say you are, this opens up a lot of opportunities to really create seamless travel. And then the seamless travel will extend from the moment you order a cab to arriving at the airport, to arriving at the other country, using your digital identity. Probably you shared already with an electronic travel authorization like ETIAS or ESTA. You will share your ICAO digital travel credential, which is the international standard for a digital version of our passport, which you will have in your wallet. You can share that. It's been there on arrival. You will have an easy flow through because they will just match you. Walking pace, NFC, you have your passport in your hand, your e-passport with a chip, so you will walk through. This has been piloted. You're matched, you can walk through. You arrive at your hotel, your keys already in your wallet, and you'll be greeted at the door and just directed to your room because they know who you are. And you do not have to check in. You do not have to share your passport credentials or a copy of your passport because that's already been taken care of. Again, with a high level of assurance where airlines and hotels are complying with the rules and regulations that they have to comply with.
If I don't have to wait in line for customs for an hour, ooh, that'd be good. Nick, walk us through hospitality and the in-destination experience.
Yeah, sure. So just one quick thing on traveler profile and preferences, just for everybody to understand, it's a single thing. It's accessible via your wallet, it's in your control. You don't need multiple versions of it for each supplier. Therefore, you have an incentive to keep it up to date. It's highly valuable information. And it's better than any information that any one travel provider will have. So why would they need to keep your information anyway? That's point number one.
Here, here.
And that's missing today. That will be delivered. Second point. When you book a hotel or when you book a flight, we in our world have the luxury of hours, days, weeks between our intent to buy and the consumption of the product that we sell. What do we do in that time? We send emails into the darkness with bland, uninteresting offers mostly, and they end up in junk and spam folders. You have a trusted digital identity as a travel provider. You have each one of your customers that's enabled with a wallet is a trusted digital identity for the consumer. You have peer-to-peer encrypted, trusted communications between you, which is open forever until closed by the traveler. On top of that communication, which certainly you can think of chat, right? It's a layered set of protocols that you can build in commerce over the top. So you can quickly go to, I know, Annette, you're arriving. I can see, would you like an early check-in? Would you like a higher floor? Would you like us to book you a table? And then layer over the top of that the commercials to be able to deliver it to you and deliver you the reservations of verifiable potential in your wallet so that when you do arrive at the restaurant, you tap and your wallet directs you to the seat, right? That's the kind of scenario that we're talking about. Okay, one more thing that's missing, and it's hugely important. Everybody talks about seamless travel. But believe me, your seamless travel experience is going to stop immediately at the first locked door that you get to, because our collection of industries is a physical set of experiences. So it's essential that we address physical access control and it's done in a standards-compliant way such that your key and your wallet can actually unlock whatever it may be. It could be a door to a hotel, it could be getting on a plane, but it could equally be a robo-taxi, for example. Right? So that's really important. Last thing I want to say is specifically the in-destination experience. In destination, there is no account. Those customers for the tour guide are the one-time, only time that they're ever going to be there, right? To digitally enable them, you need to physically be able to provide in the moment the information that you want to give to that tour guide. So imagine that tour guide is doing culinary tour, right? They've got 30 people, culinary tour. How do you know who has peanut allergies? How can you stop the hands up, right? You lot go over there, you lot go over there. You can do it very simply by saying, please tap yourself on the way in and pass over your dietary preferences, as an example, right? And there is a long list of benefits that apply to that completely unaddressed in-destination opportunity today.
Mm-hmm. We're out of time. Really quick.
I want to make two very quick points. One is, it's been surprising to me that digital wallets haven't come up more in this conversation.
Yeah.
Because the organizing principle in a very fragmented journey is the individual, and wallets are the way we can digitally enable all the stuff we just talked about. And it's real, the standards are here. And secondly, we're going to be running some workshops on these topics. So please get in touch with Annette, with myself and Nick, because we're really passionate about this, and we think it's a massive unlock for new revenue streams, for fraud, for security, for data portability, dealing with the regulations, and so on. So, Mike, thanks so much for having this session, because we feel it's really important for the whole industry to level up on personal data, on enabling these new revenues and driving sales for us all.
We'll have to make this one longer next time. But really quick, so very short answers, okay? Just want to finish on, will there ever be a global digital ID standard? Yes or no?
Has to be.
Nope.
I would say global one, no. Will there be common tools to be able to use the IDs that are provided?
Correct.
Almost certainly yes.
Correct.
Okay, good clarification. Finish this sentence. By 2030, digital ID will
have to be there, because we need to know online who is real, who is fake, who are we dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
will differentiate the winning businesses in the market by enabling personalized travel experiences and reducing fraud.
Will be in the pockets of hundreds and hundreds of millions of citizens worldwide and equally large number of businesses, many of whom are in the EU, as an example, are mandated to accept the digital presentation of information.
Yep. You have to choose digital ID or AI agents.
If I have a digital ID, I can have an AI agent.
Yeah,
precondition.
we can't have agents without identity.
Exactly.
I have no idea if I can trust it. Where's the liability model? So you have to have identity first. It's the enabler to AI.
Totally agree.
It was a trick question. The answer is
Let's
both.
win.
Thank you, everybody. Annette, Jamie, Nick, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.